Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Save the Bay podcast. As always, I'm here with Adam Kowalski.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Matt.
You are so for people that don't know.
Sure. So I'm the aquarium manager, and I'm the aquarist here, which is like an aquarium scientist, and I'm also the lead educator here.
Excellent. And I am the social media and marketing manager for those of you who have never watched before or listened before. So, Adam, let's get right to it, like always. What's the theme for the aquarium in the month of October?
All right, guys. So the theme for October is going to be amazing adaptations. Okay. The reason why we chose this is because adaptations are an amazing thing. We're talking about Darwin here. We're talking about evolution. Darwin is something that, in all of his science and biology, something that people kind of overlook sometimes after they've learned about it. So we want to really revisit that a little bit. And what we're looking at is the amazing adaptations animals have in Narragansett Bay to survive here. So these are the things on their bodies, in their bodies, different behaviors they have that help them survive in Narragansett Bay, especially as winter comes along and they need to come up with different ways to do that.
Very cool. And I'm sure and I know personally a few, but I know there's a lot of different critters in here that have really cool adaptations. So do you want to highlight a few of those? Yeah,
that'd be great. So, one thing that we really try to do here is show people lots of different things. We don't want to show you a whole bunch of fin fish with the same adaptations. We don't want to show you a whole bunch of crabs that have all the same kinds of adaptations as well. We try and show you a little bit of everything. So some of the more amazing ones that people might not know about, a great example would be the sea robin. We get a few different species here in the bay, and one really cool adaptation they have is these modified pectoral rays. I know that sounds kind of funny, but if you look at a fish on their fin, they have all these rays, little tiny fine bones that kind of stick off their fins. So as the sea robin has gone through its evolutionary history, some of those bones have kind of peeled off of the fins. They've moved forward, and he can actually pull along the ground with those, use them a little bit for locomotion. Okay. He can also smell and taste and feel vibrations with those little bones now. So this is something that has really gone through some process. And when you come here, they're doing it almost all the time. They're searching, they're looking. Yeah, there's a few of them in the tank right behind me here, too. I don't know if they're going to come out.
I think they were hiding around in the back.
Yeah, so maybe as we do the podcast, they might pop out at certain points, We got a couple juvenile ones, a couple little babies. They're always adorable. As they get a little bigger, they're a face a little bit more only a mother might love. But they're still really cool. So that's one really great example, one of my favorites.
That's awesome, and there's a ton more. You have the starfish. I mean, one of the really cool adaptations about starfish that's kind of more commonly known, but maybe not everybody knows is they can lose one of their, I guess it's a limb.
They arms, limb, whatever, however you want to call it.
They can lose one and grow it back.
Yeah, exactly. They can regenerate, right? Yeah. And there's a few animals that can do that, but there's not. Overall, there's not that many on the planet that can do that. This is a unique trait. It sounds like something from a science fiction novel, but this is actually something that scientists are researching daily, because how great would it be if we could regrow our limbs or regrow a lost organ or something like that? Yeah. This is something that can really help with research, even in cancer and stuff like that, to regrow cells. Yeah. And it's something that these things do without even thinking. They barely, they have a very simple form of a brain, but they can do things that we can't even think of, really.
That's wild. And also, so one of my favorite critters here, and one of the oldest critters, the oldest critter here, it's a horseshoe crab.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is anything to do with adaptation, but they have a pretty unique look to them. They have kind of this, armored housing to them.
So what's one good way to survive? If you look absolutely terrifying, like an alien, are you going to want to mess with it? You know what I mean? Yeah. So these creatures, they look really scary, right? Yeah. The horseshoe crab, Atlantic horseshoe crab is the one that we have around here. But they're absolutely harmless. If you've ever picked one up, their pinchers are very small. They can't pinch you. They can't bite you. A lot of people think they're poisonous. They can't sting. Yeah. But they've been on the planet unchanged for 360 million years. And this is without any adaptations that are dangerous to people.
Yeah.
So they've really evolved to survive in a world before people were really even here. There's one thing to kind of think about, too.
And they just kind of found their thing, and they're just, staying.
And they stuck with it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So a lot of these animals are still evolving constantly. Humans are always evolving. We're all getting taller. Our brains are getting bigger, things like that. But the horseshoe crab, 360 million years is about how long it's been relatively unchanged.
Wow.
So their evolution has slowed way down. They might be adapting to people in some way. Their numbers are very low at this point. Mm-hmm. So this is a species of concern for sure. They've spent all this time, since before the dinosaurs were even here, perfecting how they live. So it's part of our responsibility to make sure they can keep doing that.
Yeah.
I think we can.
Are there any other cool adaptations you'd like to highlight? I know you have some pufferfish here.
Oh, yeah. Well, so that's a crowd favorite, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a pufferfish is kind of what I'm thinking. So they're beautiful. We have one species in Narragansett Bay that's here year-round. It's the northern pufferfish. Basically, it gets attacked or scared or stressed or something tries to bite it, and they puff up like a balloon. They have something in their body called a buccal pump. That buccal pump can either fill up its body with air or water. So if it's emerged, it could fill up with air. Or if it's filled up with air, then goes on the water, it floats on top of the water, which is kind of interesting. But if it's in the water, it fills up with air. So you can imagine trying to swallow something you think is one size, and then all of a sudden it's 5 times bigger.
Yeah.
Very hard to swallow. We even have a few new strays that we've caught and found around here of different types of puffers as well. So other ones that puff up that might be a little more colorful, more spikes on them, stuff like that.
Very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. Are the burrfish similar to puffers?
So the burrfish, which is another name for them, is a spiny box puffer. They're in the same kind of family where they do have that buccal pump and they can blow up as well.
Very cool. So besides people being able to come down and see all the cool adaptations that all these critters have, what are some of the other things going on at the aquarium for adaptations?
Sure, yeah. So, like always, we have different activities going on. We have a great scavenger hunt that was designed by some of our really wonderful interns here that go to school for marine biology. Sometimes I think these guys know more about marine bio than I do. I've been out of school for a while. They're studying all the new current things, so they actually incorporate a lot of that into their education, too, which is really great.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, the scavenger hunt, you can walk around, answer different questions, follow the clues. If you get all the answers right, we actually give out prizes, which is always fun for people.
Yeah.
We have a great story time we're doing most days when we're open at 11 o'clock called Skippy the Scallop. Scallops have great adaptations as well. They can actually swim. It's the only shellfish that can swim.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I did
so
not
they
know
shoot
that.
jets of water and they kind of clap and scoot through the water.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so you can even, one thing you could do, you could take a sea star, put it near a scallop, and it'll actually swim away because it knows, all right, this is one of my predators.
Yeah.
Time to get out of here.
Wow.
And they even have eyes. They can sense with eyes. They have beautiful blue eyes. You can
Very
see those
cool.
here, too. We have a few live ones right now.
That's awesome.
So, again, we have great crafts that are going on. That craft is going to be a surprise for me, too. They haven't shown me yet.
Cool.
But, I'm sure it's going to be a really fun adaptation craft, too.
Awesome. So, October, we're in the swing of, our winter hours. So,
Yes.
Fridays through Sundays, 10 to 4.
Yep.
Pretty much every week, and also any special, public
Yeah,
school
so
vacations.
we got Columbus Day coming up. That's coming up. That's on a Monday, pretty soon here. So we will be open all day for that one.
Great.
So when your kids aren't in school, you're looking for something to do that might be valuable and fun. Bring them here. They can do a little bit of learning, and they might not even realize they're learning. So it's a great day off kind of thing to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam. So we're going to jump right now and do a quick interview with Dan.
Great.
Dan, Dan from Save the Bay.
Yeah. Wonderful boat captain.
Yes, he is. We're going to talk about seal tours.
Awesome.
So we'll come back and we'll rendezvous back here in just a moment.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, everybody. I'm here with Dan Blanc.
The Save the Bay's Bay Adventures Coordinator.
Great. So we're here to talk about something exciting we have going on in the wintertime to enjoy the bay, which is seal tours.
Yeah.
So why should everybody go on a seal tour?
Well, it's the opportunity to see one of Narragansett Bay's visitors that isn't here year-round. Mm-hmm. They only come in for the wintertime. So we offer these tours to get people out on the water when they normally wouldn't be, but also to see an animal that's pretty incredible.
Now, people might not know this, but the seal, the harbor seal specifically, and we'll get into different types of seals, but the harbor seal is the marine mammal of Rhode Island, the official?
Yeah, the official marine mammal of Rhode Island.
And these are, mostly these are the type of seals that people would be seeing while they're out on.
Yeah, once in a while we'll see like a gray seal, which
Yes.
are the ones that are off of the Cape, the ones that the sharks are after.
Sure.
But these are migratory seals that come from Maine and Canada, and they come down in November, December, and they'll stay pretty much until April.
What other types of seals would be out in the bay? I know that you said gray seals, harbor seals for the most part, but there's also a few others you guys...
Yeah, sometimes we'll see, it's very, very rare, but a harp seal or a hooded seal. They're ice pack seals, so we don't get too much ice here, knock on wood. And so we primarily only see the the gray and the harbor seal.
Great. So where do these guys hang out? So where would you see a seal when you're out in the water?
So you're gonna look for a rock that is not surrounded by anything else, just water. They like to be away from shore, just to hide from predators. So our primary location that we go to in Newport is Rose Island. There's a rock off of it called Sighting Rock, and we see, in the height of the season, hundreds of them on there. But as the population's growing, we're starting to see them more and more in different areas that are similar characteristics to Sighting Rock around the bay.
That's great. So other locations. So our seal tours, primarily most of our tours leave from Newport.
Yeah, that's our primary location. But we also have tours leaving from Fall River, which is up in Mount Hope Bay. There's a little sand spit called Spar Island, and there's a few small rocks off of there. So that's kind of their primary spot up in there. But we also see them swimming around up in the mouth of the Taunton River because they have freshwater fish coming out of it, and they'll feed on those there. But we also run them out of Westerly. Okay. And those actually start in October because there's a group of harbor seals that actually don't leave. So they kind of just hang out in that area. So, and that's a nature tour as well because we're starting to see, a lot of the migratory birds coming in. But they're right at the mouth of Little Narragansett Bay.
It's a beautiful area of the watershed.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah.
And that's you hit the nail on the head when you said it's also a nature cruise because not only are you seeing seals, but you're seeing birds, you're seeing a lot of the wildlife that live down there.
Yeah, we saw deer, walking into the water and stuff last year. So
that's wild, and that's pretty cool that they stay down there year round. They're just kind of like
they
found a home.
There's only a few of them, but if they find a spot they like and there's plenty of food. Why go anywhere else?
Where in Newport? And so the Newport tours start in October as well.
No, they leave. They start in November. Okay. So they start the 11th of November, and they'll be leaving out of Bowen's Wharf.
Okay, great. And then the Fall River ones leave out of...
Fall River starts March 18th, and they'll be leaving out of Borden Light Marina, which is pretty much right near Battleship Cove.
Okay.
And those tours are 75 minutes. The Westerly tours are 90 minutes because it's a little bit longer. And then the Newport cruises are an hour. But we also have tours that leave out of Newport that are Seal and Lighthouse tours, which are 2 hours long, and they include a stop at Rose Island where we actually get off and get to explore inside the lighthouse and the grounds on the lights.
That's really awesome. And Rose Island is a working, active lighthouse?
It is. Yep, it's maintained by the Rose Island Lighthouse Foundation. It's all restored to the original specs. It's pretty cool.
That's a really cool. So, and that's only offered a few times this year.
It is. I want to say we have about a dozen stops planned, and then we always add some later on in the year as the weather starts to get nicer.
So if you want to know more about dates for the Seal tours, the Lighthouse tours, Fall River, Westerly, and Newport, check out our website, savebay.org/seals, and also stay active on our Facebook page and Twitter account, and we'll add any trips there. We'll also remove if we have bad weather trips.
Yeah, absolutely.
So stick to those, and we highly recommend booking your tours in advance.
Yeah, I would. Most of our tours especially this past year, booked up before leaving the dock. So
yeah, and these make great Christmas gifts. I gave out more Seal gift certificates last year for Christmas gifts than I can count.
Yeah,
and it's a great time. Go out with your family, bring the kids out. It's a great.
You can't think of a gift to give the grandkids. Boom, there you go.
Yeah, it's learning. You get to see seals. We give binoculars so you can see the seals. And usually, I went out on a couple Newport tours. You don't really need the binoculars.
No, we get right up close to them.
You can see the seals. They're right there.
Yeah, they're swimming around the boat. It's
really awesome. Well, Dan, thank you for coming down and being on the podcast.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
I'm hoping to get out on one of the boats and do a podcast from the boat.
That'd be fantastic.
A little traveling podcast.
Yeah.
So that would be great. But, thanks again. And everybody, again, savebay.org/seals. Book your trips ahead of time because they will fill up fast. We just released the dates, so get on that. Thanks,
All right.
Dan.
Thanks for having me.
And we're back at the Exploration Center with Adam, and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up right here. As always, you can find us online, savebay.org. If you want to check out all the fun things going on, including on October 20th, our Feeding Frenzy program, which has been going great.
It's tons of fun.
Make sure if you hear this and you want to do this, make sure you go on savebay.org/aquarium and register ahead of time because it will fill up quick. It's only limited to about 20
people.
20 people.
Pre-register, please, because if you show up and you're not registered, odds are we won't have room, and we've had to turn people away a few times, and that's the worst. I want to get you guys in here having fun.
And it's really cool. You get to see all our educators and interns and volunteers feed the animals. So, which is something that you don't normally get to see for the most part on a Friday through Sunday basis coming to visit the aquarium. So it's a Thursday night. It's usually the third Thursday of every month.
Correct. Yep.
From 5 to 6.
5 to 6.
From 5 to 6. savebay.org/aquarium. That's where you pre-register.
Yep.
And do it ahead of time. We also have dates up for November. So if you want, if October is filled and you want to do it, and you just go ahead to the November date and do it there.
Perfect.
You can find us on Twitter at SaveTheBayRI. Same thing on Instagram and also on Facebook. So, Adam, until next time, thank
you so much, Matt. It's great chatting with everyone, and we'll see you for some amazing adaptations.
Yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon.